Good evening and welcome to Smart Entrepreneurship Decoded on Transcontinental Times. Today we take a slight detour from our continuous discussions on entrepreneurship and meet a very different kind of individual. Let me give you some background. When I was writing my book on midlife crisis, dealing with the afternoon of life like I described it, I heard so many stories from so many of my friends and family about failed geniuses in their family. People who started out brilliantly but somehow fizzled out in midlife or later. Every family has them. At every family function, during a marriage or a funeral, you will hear about these great people in the family who never made it. On the other hand, we are constantly bombarded in the media by young achievers, so called overnight successes, which I challenge all the time because they are not really overnight successes, most of them. They are just people who started earlier than you and me. On the other hand, a third data point that I observe is that the young people of today, people in the age group of 15 to 20, have completely different aspirations, have completely different socialization norms, have completely different outlook to studies, and a completely different for digital first outlook to life in general. I was very excited to get introduced to a young talent, a young innovator, a person who holds Elon Musk as his role model and is based out of Ludhiana, Punjab. Let's meet with him and discuss how the young people of today are dealing with various issues and how he himself has become such an accomplished innovator at such a young age of 15 and 16. He's 16 now, but most of his achievements started way earlier. Let's welcome Aryaman Verma. Welcome, Aryaman. How are you?
I'm great, sir. How are you?
I'm good. So how did you get started? Because you've done so much work, so much on the coding side to drones to all kinds of stuff. Just talk us through your journey because at your age most of the boys and girls are busy doing other stuff whereas you have already got a body of work which is 3 pages long. I did not know where to start introducing you. Hence I would like you to just speak about how you got into this.
So like at age of 3, one day I was going with my father to the ATM, and at that time going to the ATM and seeing how did the ATM machine work. So you have a card, you have a chip, and you insert it into the machine, and then you enter the amount. It matches your bank account, and then you get the money that you design, and you can select the notes and the currency which you want. So it was I was very inspired by the how the machine works, and I really wanted to know how the mechanism of the machine works. So what I did was go home and do some research about it, and then the main thing that came was coding. So at that time coding was not that popular, so coding was just like what you can say a necessity for engineering level students to do, just to get a good job or something like that. But for me coding was I developed it as a passion in the long term. So I used to do a lot of courses with these third level engineering students. So there was a summer school kind of a thing for them. So what they were doing was developing in the third year their projects. So you all know that they want some projects developed in the third year of the college. So what they were doing was developing all these projects for themselves. And I was also very curious to see how do they actually work upon the projects, like what are the coding skills required, what are the languages they code on, what are the microcontrollers they use, what all are the parts. And slowly and gradually I developed my interest in that. And then after that gradually working on that stuff, and my parents and my mentors were supportive a lot. So like there are no words that I can describe the unconditional support and love they have provided for me. So gradually what happened was I got into this, and then I made a line follower robot. So a line follower robot is it uses two IR sensors to just follow the path of the line where you want it to go. So you can just draw a black line anywhere, on a white surface, so that it could easily distinguish that this is a black line and this is a white background. So you can actually, get your robot to follow that black line till wherever you want. So then I thought, how can this be used in real life? Because see, this is just a small robot. So then I came up with the ideas that, maybe you can use it in Amazon or some big warehouses where you want to deliver the product from one place to another. So what you can do is set up tracks with that black line so that the robot could carry a little star to the place where it is wanted. And then after that, we all have seen many movies, and you have all gone to many weddings, and over there you see the drone, and then you're very excited what's the thing that's hovering in the air, taking photographs and all that stuff. So I was also very excited to see how it's like just like a toy for some people at an initial level. But then when I did research about that, gathering the flight controllers, the remotes, the different types, so they're like unlimited types of drones that you can actually think of, with different utilities, with different parts, different components. So then what I wanted to do is, make a drone myself. And at the age of 13, what I did was, due to my school, like my school was, I was in eighth around. And then, I used to have a quite free time. So I started researching upon my drones and all the coding that is required, and there came the language C++. And I had learned it before when I developed my line follower robot. So I was very happy that I already know the language. I just have to work a few more lines, just brush it up. So then I developed my drone. So that drone was, the basic drone, which you could use it for aerial photography, and you can just use it for fun, flying it around and actually playing it. And then what I did was, again, I was thinking about how actually can I use it in real life. So like there are many drones that already exist for photography and all. Then I wanted to solve a real problem, and I made a drone which could be actually used for agriculture. So what that drone could do is, hold a little amount of water or insecticide or pesticide, whatever you want, and it could spray it on the fields. I was like, the farmers would get so much relieved, because in such cold and such during the cold and hot weathers, so it's just not feasible. Like I also don't like to get up, from my bed in cold or in hot summers. So it would be very easy for them, just control the drone and spray huge amounts of fertilizers or waters to the fields just by sitting at one place. So then I developed that drone which could actually be used for those purposes. And now I'm developing many more drones, different use cases like a fire extinguisher drone and many other drones. Like they
It's
are all
interesting,
in.
You said that you started making the drone when you were 13. I don't think I could tie my pajamas at the age of 13, let alone think of a drone or anything like that. But tell me something. You you spot problems and then try to find solutions, or do you read about issues companies are facing? What gets you thinking, right? So you did drones, you did the robot, and I've seen your body of work. You've done so many things in diverse fields. So is it just interest that you keep coming up with ideas, or you try to combine a problem, an industry issue, or a social issue? How do you get driven that today I will do this?
So, like, I made this as my passion. Working at the early ages, this was the thing that inspired me the most, gave me the adrenaline to actually do this work. So, gradually, what happened was I used to go like in my car. I'm sitting, I'm seeing. So we have PAU over here. That is like the biggest university, agricultural university in Asia. So I was seeing that the fields are massive. They are so huge that to actually just spray or water the field, it's going to take days to just water the field. So then what I used to do is like going here and there, or just randomly I come up with different problems that I try to find the solution of, and then I have my passion to just drive me crazy, working day and night just to solve that problem.
Very, very interesting. It's so you have won a lot of awards. I was seeing that in nationally, internationally, right, and
Yeah.
rightfully you won a lot of awards. Is there one award that you are more proud of than others? Because I'm sure you'll win a lot more in future. But as of today, is there one that you're more proud of that you can talk us through?
So I would like to say that the award which I got from K7, the chairman of ISRO, that was the thing that I'm most proud of, because seeing those high tech facilities is like, no ordinary person can go over there and actually see those faculties that ISRO provide. And with us, the government sponsoring us a 2 weeks tour in all those high tech and high secretive fields over there. How the satellite is made, how is it wrapped, and how are the payloads made, and how, like, what are the rockets you are going to use, the propulsion and all that stuff. We used to have daily lectures, and we used to go and visit like the plasma facilities and all that stuff. So the things that I couldn't even have imagined that could actually exist, they were all in working over there. So like plasma, which is the fourth stage of solid, so that also you could see it in ISRO's high tech facilities, and they're all guarded, and they are such secretive fields that because the government does not want to disclose anything about their future plans about the missions. So all these facilities which I could see, we also witnessed a live launch of a rocket. So that was a sounding rocket, and just watching that launch from such near, that was like a beautiful thing. We visited the control center, the mission center, from where the go is given to just launch the satellite, and different fuels, the cryogenic, and then there is stage separation of the rocket. So first stage, the boosters get dropped out in the ocean. They are like, to launch a rocket, there are like more than 10,000 things that you have to keep in mind. And that much amount of research what they do is just, that was like mind blowing to me.
Yeah, so it must have been fascinating just hearing you talk about it. I can understand what an experience it must have been. But tell me something. They don't teach coding, at least to my knowledge, in Indian schools that early. So, are you self-taught? Did you go somewhere to learn? Were you? Did you just? Did it come from within to learn coding, or how did it happen?
So like as I mentioned before, what happened was, in a summer break, there were engineering third level students, actually making their projects, for the universities. And over there, when I saw them, working, coding such huge lines, I was first of all very scared. What is this? Why do we have to do this? And but then when I initially learned the coding, so over there was a trainer. So I learned from many trainers. So like if I was like, this person knows only this much, I used to go to another trainer, and I would used to gather knowledge from wherever I could, try searching the internet, going to Delhi, China, and all that stuff, just to improve my coding so that I could be the best.
So, Aryaman, doing all this, you must be requiring specialized equipment, materials, maybe access to labs, etc. Do you have that, or do you have to create it yourself?
So I have to create like my whole lab myself, because I would say that the technology that is required for making these stuffs is not yet in the Indian education. So I would like, really want that Indian education, rather than focusing everything on the theory part, you know, it's okay to teach us the basics, but what I would like to say, the things that we are taught, 90% of the things, do not have any practical usage, except you just have to get marks and you just have to get a percentage. So 90% of the things what I think is not feasible for a person to actually use it in their daily lives, rather than actually doing practicals for it, and making the things by their hands, so that they can even experiment. So like if you are taught that this is equals to this or something like that, so you can't tinker about that, you can't think beyond that. So what happens is, when you make a drone, there are like millions of combinations you can try. What you could do is just replace this battery with the another one, how you can calculate the thrust, how you can produce more thrust. So there are like a million of combinations what you can produce, and what that allows is creativity, which I would say is like the backbone of doing everything. So if you are creative, you can do anything you want. So if you want to build this and you have a very creative mind, and so that is a go ahead for anything that you want to do in life.
So, you mentioned creativity. So, a lot of what you do requires a certain design sense, right?
Yes, sir.
In how users experience it, and how it is all designed. How do you manage that part?
So designing, basically designing all the stuff. So first of all, what I do is, designing the robots. What I actually do is mostly 3D print all the stuff and all the mechanism. So you must have heard 3D printers and all these stuff in these days. So what I do is actually do the 3D printing, and also I used to do I make the files in CAD, and actually 3D print it, and then give it a beautification for my projects.
So I keep muting myself because some a neighbor of mine in the resort has decided to start a music band. But more interestingly, I have to keep pinching myself that I'm speaking to a 16-year-old and not a 60-year-old. You come across so mature, so clear in your thoughts, and that is one of the greatest gifts a leader can have: clarity of thought. You can't learn it. I strongly believe that, and you seem to have that in adequate measure. Let's move a little bit. In the pre-show chat, we were talking about crypto, and you were
Yes.
speaking about you trade in crypto. Talk us about that hobby of yours and how that's playing out.
So cryptocurrencies is like the future. So what you could say is, stock trading, it has grown quite old. So there are like many companies that have stocks, and you might have heard that, this cryptocurrency has pumped more than 10 or so thousands of percent in, just one day or just in a few seconds. So what the thing is that cryptocurrency trading is like my hobby. So what I used to do is, just sacrifice 2-3 hours of my sleep at night, and actually um, analyze the charts and the trends in all the cryptocurrencies, and actually keep an eye on what all new cryptocurrencies are launched, and how I get, and like basically what are the use cases. And gaining the interest in cryptocurrencies, what I also did was learn the coding language Solidity, which is used to create new smart contracts, which is in turn used to make new cryptocurrencies. So currently, I am working on the future, because I think this is the future of the world, because cryptocurrencies is like the in thing these days. So you might have heard about artificial intelligence, machine learning, all that stuff. So the next thing you're gonna hear about in 2 to 3 years is blockchain
Talk,
and blockchain
talk to me.
technologies.
Talk to me a bit about artificial learning, etc. I run an edutech company where we teach artificial intelligence to students of your age across Indonesia. Uh, where do you see artificial intelligence, crypto, and all that coming together? I was dying to ask this question from somebody who understood all this. Thank God you're here. But before that, I must tell you, I can see the audience on the various channels, and you'll be happy to note of you're probably my 33rd guest, but this is the third highest audience we've got. That shows the interest we've got in young people. Maybe I should stop interviewing all the old daddy fuddies and start interviewing more of people like you. Absolutely fascinating, love it. Talk to me about the merger of AI, crypto, and that world, and how
So see,
important
I
it is
would
for students to take that up.
Yes, sir. So you might have heard about Sophia, the artificial intelligent bot that has been granted citizenship. So that is now getting into the metaverse. So metaverse is the future of cryptocurrency. So like cryptocurrency is a whole lot of, it has many diversities. So Sophia has recently signed a contract and is now getting into the metaverse. And this is a combination of artificial intelligence as well as cryptocurrencies. So now we are looking further for the plans of mergers. How are they going to actually do the mergers, and what all technologies can they get? So we are like these days the thing is that uh, the I would like to say that the merger of cryptocurrencies and artificial intelligence is happening, but it's going to take a little time.
Okay, let's speak a little bit about more normal subjects. What are your hobbies? Do you get time for anything else, or whole day you're just looking at problems to solve? What
No, sir.
else do you do which will be a normal for a 16-year-old?
So it's like I keep a balance between my studies, my cryptocurrencies, my robotics, and as well as my friends and my family. So my hobby is, I love to cook. So, at night, what I sometimes usually do is, prepare dinner for my family. And, just I love to cook. And this is like, I really love to cook new dishes every day. Or, whenever I get time, I usually do cooking. And I maintain a balance between my friends, family, and all that stuff, because so working is one thing, but the quality of life is another thing. So if you are working whole day, and then what you could actually do is, sacrifice 2 to 3 hours of your sleep, and rather spend that time with your family and and your friends that you have made.
You're definitely not a 16-year-old. You're a 60-year-old. You have the mind of a 60-year-old, I'm telling you. You say all these things with such great confidence, and I applaud you for what you're doing, absolutely brilliant. But
Thanks a lot.
let's look at, a little forward. Not too forward. Let's take 5, 10 years. Uh, what is it that you would like to solve? Is there one big problem that you would like to solve?
So in cryptocurrencies, what I would like to solve, so like I am more focused in the future. So I am like in cryptocurrencies these days, and I'm doing a lot of research. So probably in the future, what I would like to solve is, the cryptocurrencies, they have a huge problem of, the gas fees. So there are many cryptocurrencies which, take a lot of gas fees, and they take like tens of thousands of dollars just for gas, and there are many who do not even. But that cryptocurrency is not that famous. What I'm looking in the future, in down 5-10 years, is, make my own cryptocurrency which can be a huge success.
Now you're going down the Elon Musk way, right? But yes, you're being true to your role model. But talk to me about what you right now think. I know thinking changes. I know you will have life experiences that will take you in particular directions. But do you think right now you're going to get into a scientist kind of role? You're going to be an entrepreneur, or you're going to be an innovator all your life? How do you think right now, for the next say five
So
to ten
right
years?
now, I think of completing my education from the United States, and completing my post graduation and undergraduation from United States, and then start my own company, and build my entrepreneurship. And then I'm looking for all like the problems that I would like to solve for the world. Just to make world a better place. So like, if you might have heard that Elon Musk donated $6 billion to solve to WHO to solve world hunger. So something like that I'm looking to solve in the world. So by earning through cryptocurrencies or something like that, what I want to do is just make a world better place.
Now, since you speak like a 60-year-old, I'm going to ask you a question which is actually a 60-year-old person's question. And you said Elon Musk is a role model for you now. Do you think we should be spending money sending people to Mars or solving problems on Earth right now?
So sending people to Mars is Elon Musk's dream. So what he wants to basically do is what, because the rate at which the natural resources are getting exhausted is very high, because we have a lot of population these days, and the growing rate of population, the resources that are very limited. So we have to try to find reusable and renewable sources of energy rather than depending upon the old sources. So I would like to say mass development is also an issue that we should focus on for our future generations. But I would not say that just spend. So what Elon Musk is right now also doing is dividing his money accordingly, so that he could even go into the development in his Mars project, and as well as focus on Earth. So that is his dream, sending people to Mars, and actually creating another Earth on Mars. Whereas on Earth, he is also looking for renewable sources of energy that can make Earth an existing planet for more longer than it's actually predicted.
So, speaking to you, I completely lost track of time. We are almost to the end of this interview. If Elon Musk sees this, and I will try to tag him on the tweet, and you should too, he should
Yes.
definitely take you under his wing, because uh, India lacks true inventors, innovators, design thinkers, etc. Most of the people who are entrepreneurs, not all, but most of them, are doing either services businesses, copycat businesses, me too businesses, and trying to make it. You here have been trying to create products, innovate, invent, and people like you should be backed with the right kind of facilities, the right kind of materials, labs, the right kind of mentors to direct you into maybe some very specific problems. So I applaud you. I really applaud you. For me, speaking with you has been an eye opener. And
Thanks a lot,
I don't
sir.
know why you want to be an entrepreneur. You could probably earn enough from crypto itself, the way things are going. I wish
Yeah.
you the very best in that as well. I wish a lot more young people would emulate you, because what today I can, when I speak with you, I see all this list of accomplishments, but behind that there must have been many years where maybe you were even ridiculed. That what the hell are you doing? Why are you doing this? What will you get out of this? You probably went through that learning cycle too. So I
Yes,
wish you
sir.
the very best, Ariman. I hope you do well, and I hope to one day interview you once you have really achieved the full potential that I can see that you've got. Thank you and good night.
Thanks a lot, sir.